The news that MEF is now allowing uncooked pig meat from countries infected with porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome, or PRRS, into New Zealand is being met with a sense of dread on pig farms.
Why would you willingly allow in a disease which you know is one of the most devastating pig diseases worldwide, and think that you're going to be able to manage the risks of that getting out into the New Zealand industry after it's already got here?
Graham Taylor, who farms in Mangatoroto, says the disease hits pigs regardless of their age, sex and size.
It's a respiratory and reproductive disease, so it affects both ends of the cycle. It affects the sows in terms of their reproduction, and it affects growing pigs in terms of respiratory problems. Vets that have seen it are just to say this is one disease you do not want to have in New Zealand.
He says he is nervous about MEF's move and that he suspects it will only be a matter of time until an outbreak occurs.
The pathway is really quite clear. MEF have said allow it to be distributed in parcels of up to 3 kilograms, so long as the major lymph nodes where the disease is lurking are removed. Now, in reality, this product will come in either as chilled or as frozen meat. It will go out to the food service industry, and what concerns me is that when it ends up in a small takeaway bar or food outlet, of which there are literally thousands in New Zealand, the waste that they have from that product will go into the pig bucket.
New Zealand Pork Board Chief Executive Sam McIver fears for the future of the industry.
PRRS virus is the world's #1 pig disease. At the moment, there is no vaccination program that regularly works for it, so we believe it would have a devastating impact on the New Zealand pork industry, and in fact could well be the undoing of the pork industry itself.
Country 99 TV spoke to North Yorkshire pig farmer Stuart Houston, whose herd has been hit by PRRS. He said he cannot fathom why New Zealand would risk inviting this virus in.
It's endemic in the UK, and we fortunately have a fairly simple strain. We're terrified that we get the American strain, which was much more virulent. But we'd end up with about 25% mortality in worst cases if the American strain got into the UK. From an animal welfare point of view, and from the point of view of the viability of the New Zealand herd, this is just a crazy decision.
But it's not just pig farmers and pork industry officials who say this move is madness. The Green Party and the country's leading veterinarians and academics all say that MEF is committing economic hari-kari. In 2007, Massey University scientists published this report, which concluded the chances of a PRRS outbreak if uncooked pig meat is allowed in is high. In fact, the authors said there was a 95% chance of a multi-farm outbreak within 3 years. However, in 2010, MEF dismissed these findings. In addition to accusing the Massey University team of using shoddy data for its modelling, MEF suggests that the report's lead author, Eric Newman, is in the pocket of the Pork Board. Eric Newman responded that this criticism is simply a cheap shot. But now MEF is saying that its latest models are correct, and the move to allow in uncooked pig meat is sound.
We've certainly done a lot of work and a lot of quantitative scientific assessment to actually make a judgment on what was the risk, and right now the science says that the likelihood of a risk through the import of this uncooked meat is the equivalent of an average of 1 outbreak per every 1,227 years.
However, Eric Newman says that MEF's modelling conclusions suffer from the same flaws his did, a lack of good input data.
Weaknesses in our model, and subsequently the weaknesses in their modelling work, all are grounded in this problem area of not having adequate data to really understand some of the key features. And the key features in our mind continue to be what happens to pig meat scrap, so kitchen waste, restaurant waste, trimmings from all throughout the meat distribution chain. What happens with that material? What's the likelihood and frequency it's going to end up into a backyard pig's mouth and subsequently become infected and maybe spread to a second and third and fourth farm?
Minister of Agriculture and Biosecurity David Carter declined to be interviewed on this issue, saying it was not his decision. However, last week he had this to say when he launched the $8.5 million Farms Online biosecurity database.
I often say to my farming audience, it's the biggest risk to New Zealand's economy is biosecurity.
MAF's own figures estimate a full-scale outbreak of PRRS would cost New Zealand in the tens of millions of dollars. Despite MAF's reassurances, New Zealand's pig farmers remain unimpressed.
All MAF are trying to do now is bring in a disease with it that could devastate us.
Benedict Collins, Country 99 TV News.